Untitled Lab of the world. I'm Richard, and today, what I'm doing right now feels a little bit like having your wife drop you off at your mistress's house. Now, I'll probably end up sleeping on the couch for that comment once this video goes live, but we're taking the NSX down to Westtown Mall in Knoxville for a Motorsports Lab driving experience in which I get to do something that I've kind of wanted to do since about 2004. Actually drive a Lamborghini Gallardo. Now, why a Gallardo, you might ask, and why would I be obsessed with those in particular? Well, while they're not my absolute favorite car of all time, they probably are my favorite car that one might consider reasonably attainable. It started back in 2004 when they launched. My family had gone up to a large European-Italian car show track event combination in the Poconos in Pennsylvania every year for 15 years. In 2004, Lamborghini sent a demo team from the factory with some press cars over. And so we had one Valentino Balboni, as well as his at the time, protege Max. I don't remember his last name. Apologies, Max. And they were offering rides in Gallardos for charity, so you could contribute, I don't remember what it was at the time, probably $50. And they would take you out for 3 or 4 hot laps on Pocono International's road course configuration. Rides they were giving, as you might imagine, were rather exciting. What was more impressive, though, is that they did this same thing for the next 6 years, probably, with various iterations of the Gallardo, where they'd bring 2 cars. They would give these cars a pasting all day long. The only time they ever stopped was to change tires, change brakes, or refuel. Not one of them ever broke. So not once in 6 or 8 years of them running various iterations of Gallardo, day in and day out, did one ever go mechanically wrong. Now that doesn't sound like a very tall order for most cars, but given the history of Italian supercars, that's remarkable. And while I've sat in a number of them, and obviously been for a handful of exciting rides around a track, I've never actually gotten in a Lamborghini Gallardo with the intent of driving it myself. Enter my wife and son on this Father's Day. They found a coupon for a Motorsports Lab experience, which should allow me to show up where we're about to stop, get out, get in a Lamborghini Gallardo, and drive it for a few laps of a short autocross course. Alright, we're here. Let's go see what this is all about. Having clearly made it to the right place, it was a quick matter of checking in with the Motorsports Lab folks, checking out the 2008 E-Gear Gallardo I'd be driving, and listening to a quick instructor briefing before it was time to drive. Unfortunately, their in-car camera overheated, so I don't have that footage. But take my word for it that it's more exciting than it looks, even on a lot size restricted course like this. A big thanks to Joel, the instructor on the day, for answering a bunch of car geek questions, talking track with me, and letting the leash run a bit, allowing me to push the car as much as I was willing to in the confines of the available space. So back in the car on the way home, I wanted to kind of spit this out before I had a chance to overthink it, but impressions of that car, it's interesting. I think the throttle response was comparable to the NSX as far as its immediacy. Obviously there's more throttle to respond because it has twice the horsepower basically, or 30% more horsepower. The steering feel is not as tactile as an NSX. Probably not very coincidentally, it feels a little bit more like our GTI because it is power assisted, and the steering wheel is a similar shape and the rim thickness, and it's probably again, I don't know. I'm not a car journalist, so I haven't driven every supercar in the world to be able to tell you what how it compares to its peers or competitors, but that was a lot of fun to drive. I did manage to trigger the traction control once, and probably got to the point of understeering around one of the inner turn, just to see if I could find where the limit of adhesion was. Yeah, the biggest thing about that car is the noise it makes. When the wind is down, even on a short course like that, where I don't think we ever got over 6,000 RPM, it's definitely a different animal. That was a lot of fun, and it was a lovely Father's Day present that took with a little bit of a gestation period there, but yeah, no, that's the Motorsports Lab. 10 out of 10, would do it again. But don't worry, the NSX isn't going anywhere.